Hello guys, welcome to i-tutor Academy. In today's session, we will start with the socio-cultural environment subsection 2 of unit 2. Okay, subsection 5 of unit 2, that is MMBC 006. So socio-cultural environment is composed of culture, social class, tradition, belief, value and lifestyle of the people in a given society. And unit 4 of this course will give you an exhaustive and a deeper understanding of this variable that we will discuss upcoming videos. In India culture, some of our cultural values are deep rooted. They are known as core values. And for example, believing the children should get an education is a core value. It is not easy to change the core value. The secondary value are subject to change. For example, believing that the children should get education from expensive schools located in posh area is secondary value. The marketers try to influence such secondary value of their target customers to some extent through marketing effort. Okay, so here is an related activities. You just try to do it and it will maybe more help you for your understanding. Social class is an important concept and every society is composed of different social classes. It is determined by the type of income, residential location and type of occupation and so on. Each social class normally exhibit a specific pattern of behavior and style. We all know that India is known for its diversity in terms of religion, language, tradition and customs. Such a variety is reflected in the way people behave, their food habits, clothing and their choice of goods and services, etc. Indian society is known for having a strong family system. However, in recent times, many changes took place in the cultural arena due to the impact of media, growing exposure to Western lifestyle, the popularity of new media, that is also known as social media, growing urbanization, and the globalized world, women's education, employment opportunity in emerging industries, growth of service sector and ever expanding segment of middle class led to major cultural shift or swing. And despite the impact of globalization, Western lifestyle, and such a factor, some Indian companies tried to appeal to the customers by intelligently using cultural or ethnic aspect. Robin Blue, liquid from Reckitt and Ben Kisser offers a blue thing to white clothes and Himalayan products mean for personal care and health are positioned based on Ayurveda, a traditional and alternative system of medicine, parachute and etc. And oats and brand timing of entry was in tune with the health and fitness culture sweeping urbanites. Hindustan Unilever repositioned it bath soap and Lex brand is associated with the celebrities and Hammam brand built around the family. The changing socio-cultural milieu provides many cues for the marketers in India to harness business opportunities. And next one is natural environment. The environmental analysis must also involve the study of natural resources, ecology and climatic condition in a state or country where the company operates. Corporate and environmentalism calls for the integration of environmental issues into the firm's strategic marketing. Such environmental issues include availability of raw material is critical to the functioning of a firm, cost and price structure of raw materials, availability and cost of energy, environmental pollution, protection of wildlife and ocean life, and environmental regulations and the role of environmental activists, impact of climate change on the firm and ecological balance. So India is known for its rich natural resources like iron, coal, mineral, rivers, ocean wealth and good rainfall, and industrial production in the country has grown by more than 50-fold over the past century. The Central Pollution Control Board, that is CPCB, identified 17 categories of most polluting industries that cause environmental degradation, leading to health hazard. About 77% of the industries contribute to water pollution, while 15% to air pollution and the remaining 8% to both air and water pollution. And according to a report published in Down to Earth, both the surface and groundwater resources are under stress in India. There has been a 136% increase in the number of grossly polluting industries between 2011 and 18. Around 84% of GPI were located in 4 states. So like Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, etc. And according to the National Mission for Clean Ganga, the industrial pockets in the catchment of Ramganga and Kali tributaries and in Kanpur cities are significant sources of industrial pollution. The major contributors are tanneries in Kanpur and distilleries, paper mill and sugar mill in the Kosi and Ramganga and Kali river catchments, etc. And next one is technological environment. Take any sphere of life, a new and emerging technological changes influenced it tremendously, be it personal life, corporate life or social life. As we are aware, technology today emerged as the driving force impacting the marketing environment. Technology has revolutionized the production process, use of new raw material and logistics. Information technology also has a profound influence on business firms and their final product. As individual customers, the way we enjoy entertainment, music, and our access to education, healthcare, technological innovation impact all such fields. And here is the activity is based on that. Try to do it. And activity 3 also here. Digital technology, a marketing tool. Traditionally, marketers used to reach their customers primarily through print, TV, radio, commercials, etc. We all know that the internet and email became more popular in recent times in marketing communication. In other words, most marketers today use a combination of traditional media plus digital media. New technologies like artificial intelligence and Internet of Things enable the customers to use an app from a mobile device and control a product. For example, iBull, robotic vacuum cleaner. Further, voice assistant like Alexa would help answer the question on demand. Okay, so these are the changes in the technology. The marketers should monitor the major technological trends in the process of environmental scanning, artificial learning and machine learning, robotic process automation, edge computing, quantum computing, and virtual reality and augmented reality, blockchain, Internet of Things, 5G, cyber security, etc. The marketers should monitor the major technological trend in the process of environmental scanning. Next one is political legal environment. Companies operate within the framework of the prevailing political and legal environment within a state or a country in which they function. The economic environment is a byproduct of the political system of a country. Not only that, in fact, the political decision influence the adoption of new technology and the socio-cultural factors in the country. Some of the factors concerned the political environment are the form of governmental adopted by the government and political stability, and social and religious organization, media and special interest group and lobby. Marketing organizations must understand and adapt to the legal framework related to their industry. Broadly, the legal structure in any economy deals with the issue related to corporate affairs, environmental protection, competition law, taxation law, consumers and employees protection, regulations of product, pricing, distribution and promotion, and protecting the domestic industry. And here is a recent news report according that. So you just go through this report and it will more clear for you the content. Okay, so activity also here based on that. And next one is micro marketing environment or internal environment. So let's see what is that. As part of the environmental analysis, as a marketer, you should understand the strength and weakness of by marketing and objective assessment of internal or micro factors specific to your business or company. Let's briefly discuss the element of the task. to consumer. In the preceding unit, we discussed the importance of customers while describing the philosophies of marketing management. The root cause for the marketing failure of any product or service lies with the firm's inability to understand and seek insight to the customer needs and wants. Okay, that is the consumer. Supplier play a key role in the success of any business. The task of supplying the right raw material of good quality at a right price and other input to the firm is of utmost importance, which has a direct bearing on the marketing performance of a business. Next is intermediaries. There is no business which can operate without an intermediary or a middleman. These are middlemen who function as an independent organization operating between the suppliers and the marketing organization on one hand, and the marketing organization and the final customers on the other. And competition. Environment analysis is incomplete without analyzing industry level competition. Each industry is different from other in terms of the number of firms that exist, the type of product offered by them, the entry and exit barriers, government policies and regulations which are specific to a given industry. The difference between macro environment and micro environment may be relevant to identify in the following table. So here is macro environment and micro environment. So meaning external environment of an organization, that is macro environment, inter environment of an organization, that is micro environment. Nature is very complex. Here the macro environment is very complex, so comparatively less complex to perceive this, that is micro environment. So you just go through one by one. The task of the marketers, extent of control, impact, function are differentiate with the macro environment and micro environment. And next one is changing marketing environment versus new Indian consumer. A discussion on the marketing environment will remain incomplete without robust grasp of the contemporary development in the Indian context, though we did make some references to the Indian context while discussing environmental analysis so far. Given the overall purpose of this unit, we need to highlight some of the far-reaching changes that are taking place in the Indian marketing environment before moving forward. Heterogeneity. India, as we discussed earlier, is an example of highly diversified country. This diversity in terms of geographical condition, demographic factor, economic conditions, socio-cultural differences, etc. would provide ample marketing opportunities as well as pose serious challenge to the firm. Broadly, we may classify India as urban, rural, but they do not constitute two mutually exclusive part of the market. So it is generally perceived that urban India is totally well off while rural India is not so well off. There is a misnomer that urban Indian represent the rich class while rural India the poor class of the society. In fact, there are many studies that describe the existence of a higher degree of purchasing power in many parts of rural India, and also a vast number of people in urban places who are struggling to make both ends meet. And give an overview of India's demographic characteristics. So exhibit 1, so this is the column, you just go through it from your study material. Okay. And shift of sellers, marketers into buyers market. Have you ever heard of wait list economy? A few decades back, customers in India had to wait for a long time for getting certain product or services. Critics often lament the Indian economy as a waitlist economy, as the economy was characterized by the shortage of product and services, and the sellers used to exploit such a monopoly situation to their advantage. In sellers' markets, the buyers suffer due to weak bargaining capacity. However, the situation started improving in favor of the buyers, especially since 1991. So let's look at some instance in the past. There is landline phone connection to the smartphone revolution. Okay, we already discussed about the BSNL landline, and it changed to smartphones, right? The rapid pace of digital adoption. India fast pace a scale of digital adoption are driven by a combination of supply factors and This rapid digital adoption is driving a mobile first ecosystem. So, with the mobile at its heart, as observed by the World Economic Forum in 2019, mobile phone is both a social enabler and also a very personal gadget. You have all the information, prices, and connections available right at your fingerprint. So, mobile phone is a both a social enable and also a very personal gadget, and you have all the information, that is prices and connections, available right at your fingertip, and it allows consumer to stay connected with the world all the time. The Indians are found to be spending much more time with their smartphone rather their families or dear ones. And next is fastest growing app market, that is India space scene. Indian app market lead the world in terms of install. There were more than 28,450 Indian publishers on Google Play by the turn of 2020. According to an estimate, over 19 billion mobile apps were downloaded by the Indians in 2019 compared to only over 6 billion in 2016. So people in India spend 93% of all internet minutes via mobile. Below are a few reasons you need to know to understand India's growing mobile market. Okay, so you just go through these points one by one. And the growth of e-commerce in India. India's e-commerce sector is expected to reach $99 billion by 2024, according to a report published by IVCA Trend Book 2021. Grocery and fashion apparel are expected to be the key drivers of the growth. India will have 20 million online shoppers by 2025. The government is aiming to build a $1 trillion online economy by 2025 through the Digital India program. The online retail business is estimated to a 25% of the total organized retail market and is expected to grow further, especially in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities and towns. This could serve as a big market for native startups to tap in. At the same time, there have been many initiatives of the government such as Startup India, Digital India, Skill India, Innovation Fund and BharatNet that would enable to boost the e-commerce sector. In addition, there has been a significant influx of capital into B2C, that is business to consumer model, primarily to support the supply chain global expansion, and one in which a company sells a service or product directly to a consumer. Amazon, eBay and Netflix are few examples. Okay, next is rise of service economy. The growing importance of the service sector in the Indian economy could be understood by asking a simple question: what was the service sector contribution to GDP in 1950 to 1951? Most likely, it would be difficult to guess it correctly. It was only 28.6%. The service sector contribution to GDP at that time was only half of the agriculture, but it surpassed agriculture in mid 1960s. So that is a difference between the developments. By the end of 2001, there was tremendous change in the proportion of these three sectors. The service sector became the major contributor with a 48.8% share in GDP. The share of agriculture had gone down 24.7% and the contribution of industry was 26.4%. The contribution of service sector rose 57% GDP by the end of 2008-9. Okay, so service sector is increasing the contribution yearly. So today the service sector is the largest sector in India, and gross value added at current price for the service sector was estimated at 96.54 lakh crore in 2020-2021, thereby accounting for 53.89%. The industrial sector's contribution was nearly 26% and the share of agriculture and allied sector was 20.19%. There are several reasons behind the impressive growth of the service sector in India. To mention a few: rising aspiration and rising income of customer across the demographics, expanding the size of the middle class segment, changing role of women, cultural changes and IT and media revolution, conservation of natural resources, increased consciousness of healthcare, impact of liberalization and globalization, targeting the bottom of the pyramid. Of the above, let us discuss the concept of bottom of the pyramid. Realizing fortune and bottom of the pyramid, educator and author C.K. Prahalad developed the concept of bottom of the pyramid concept. The unserved and unserved people make underserved people make the bottom of the pyramid, and Prahalada described the poor as the opportunity. The microcredit market in South Asia, especially in Bangladesh, is an example of bottom of the pyramid. Okay, and Aravind model's infinite vision is there. The cross subsidy business model developed by Dr. Venkateswamy, founder of Aravind Eye Hospital, that is on Madurai, is unique to healthcare industry. The money collected from patients who can afford is utilized to provide free treatment to the poor. In an 11-bed hospital manned by 4 medical officers, Dr. Venkateswamy saw the potential for what is today one of the largest facilities in the world for eye care. Over the years, this organization has evolved into a sophisticated system dedicated to compassionate service for sight, and Aravind, with its mission to eliminate needless blindness, provide large volume, high quality and affordable care. 50% of its patients receive service either free of cost or at steeply subsidized rate, yet the organization remains financially self-sustainable. Okay, so that's about that. And next is Narayana Hridayalayas, heard for the less fortunate. So these are all are the example of that. Okay, so this is about today's section, and in case in between any doubts, you can contact us anytime. And for more IGNOU MBA videos, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.
i-tutor Academy presents IGNOU MBA complete syllabus coverage classes for individual students, semester-wise subject with online and flexible timing. For more details, contact on +916 238 21785.